Hello everyone. In today's tutorial, I am going to show you how to build a real-time messaging system using PHP and JavaScript. This messaging system allows users to load conversation dynamically, open chats instantly, send messages without refreshing the page, automatically marks messages as seen, and display unread messages counters. Now I'll show you the process. I'm going to select a product. You can see the message instructor button, and if I press it, I can chat with the seller. I sent a message. I sign in as a seller in another browser, so I can chat with the buyer. You can see in the message icon, everything works using Fetch API and AJAX-style communication between frontend and backend. I'll explain everything step by step. This is our messaging interface begins inside the buyer dashboard. First, let's understand the layer structure of our messaging system. I'm using Tailwind's grid layout to divide the screen into two main sections, the conversation list on the left and the active chat window on the right. This section displays all the conversation dynamically. This container will be filled using JavaScript when conversation load from the server. This section displays message inside the selected conversation. And this form is responsible for sending messages asynchronously using Fetch API. Now let's move to the backend API responsible for loading conversation. GetChatlist PHP. First, we identify the logged in user using the session. This query finds all unique users that the current user has chatted with. It checks whether the logged in user is the sender or receiver and returns the other participant. This helps us max created at as last chat time. This helps us sort conversation by most recent activity. Here we fetch the name of the other user so we can display it in the conversation. Then we load them a last message inside that conversation. Finally, we count unread messages so we can show unread badges. Now let's connect our frontend with the backend API. This sends a request to our PHP backend and receives conversation as JSON. Here we loop through each conversation and generate the UI dynamically. This displays unread message counters next to each conversation. Function select chat. When the user clicks a conversation, this function activates the chat. We store the selected user ID globally so messages can load correctly. This reads the chat header dynamically. Then we immediately load messages for selected conversation. And every 3 seconds, the system refreshes messages automatically. This simulates a real-time chat behavior. Now let's examine the backend script responsible for loading messages. LoadMessage.php. Variable other ID. This receives the selected conversation partner's ID from the frontend. Then we fetch all messages between the two users in chronological order. This ensures messages appear from the oldest to newest. Here we decide whether each message should appear on the left or right side. After loading messages, unseen messages are automatically marked as seen. This enables read receipt functionality. Now let's render those messages on the screen. Messages sent by the logged in user appear on the right side. Messages received appear on the left side. This displays double tick indicators for seen messages. Single tick means delivered, double tick means read. This automatically scores the chat to the newest message, exactly like modern messaging apps. Now let's look at how messages are sent to the database. This identifies the sender automatically using the session. This stores the message inside the database. Now let's connect the message input box with the backend API. This sends the message text securely to the server. After sending the message, we reload the conversation instantly and refresh the conversation list so the latest message preview updates immediately. This script counts unseen messages for the logged in user. In the query, it checks how many unread messages are waiting. This query counts unread messages per conversation. And this value appears as a notification badge in the chat list. Finally, this line refreshes messages every 3 seconds. This creates a near real-time messaging experience without using WebSockets. And that's how you build a complete messaging system using PHP and JavaScript. In this tutorial, we created dynamic conversation loading, message sending with Fetch API, read receipts, unread counters, automatic scrolling, and real-time message refreshing. And that's it. Thank you.